Hey, what's up, Stronger fam? We're gonna be talking some kettlebell tips and technique today. Let me give it a couple minutes, see if we have anyone sign on. If not, we're gonna get right into our technique. Please excuse my wall back there. Home projects abound. All right, so we have a couple goals today. What's up, Frank? Goals today with this technique video. We're gonna go over just some hand positioning and some things to make our squats a little bit stronger, our presses, our deadlifts, and all of the movements that you're gonna see over and over and over again in the movements both now and when we all get back in the gym together. And we're gonna also go over the kettlebell swing and some alternatives to the kettlebell swing if the kettlebell swing causes you any discomfort or pain. So let's get into it, all right? So first things first, we're talking our kettlebell, right? We wanna at least know a little bit of the anatomy. What's up, Joe? A little bit of the anatomy of the kettlebell, right? So we say, this is the horns of the kettlebell right here, and this is the bar or spine of the kettlebell, okay? So anytime we're doing anything, we say our goblet squat, we're gonna hold the kettlebell by the horns, which quite simply means we're gonna have the kettlebell by the side right here, okay? We do a lot of low hang squats, so we're gonna hold the kettlebell low right across that bar, the top side. Okay? Anytime we're holding this kettlebell, the kettlebell, I like to say, it wants to bully us. But as Stronger, we are anti-bullying zone. So you never want this kettlebell to bully you. And by bully you, what I mean is that as we hold this kettlebell, especially a lot of you very strong members, right, have these heavy kettlebells, and it starts to pull us into this position, right? Whether it's a low hang, or if it's here and we start to do this, to keep the kettlebell at our chest, right? But like I said, anti-bullying zone, so we always want to keep our chest nice and proud, both in this low hang position and also in this goblet squat position as well, okay? So nice and proud, core stays tight. When we're looking around the gym as coaches, we should see nice tall postures, shoulders slightly back, chest proud with that core tight, okay? So if we're doing a low hang, we always start right over top of our kettlebell, right between our legs. Good squat. What's up, Diane? And then we're gonna grab our kettlebell, proud chest, keep it nice and tight, and then we're up and down, right? Keeping that chest nice and tall. Okay, for the goblet squat, same position. Tuck those elbows to your side. I like to say, no chicken wings at all. Okay, so tuck those elbows. What's up, Karen? Tuck those elbows to your side right here. And as you descend into this goblet squat, those elbows are gonna be inside your knees. Push to the floor, stand up. What's up, Em? So that's our goblet squat. That's our low hang. Very important, keep that kettlebell nice and tight to your body, okay? Same thing with our deadlift, right? If we're deadlifting, we're here. When I come down and get my kettlebell, I'm gonna grab the top bar of the kettlebell and I'm almost gonna try to break it. So I'm doing this to keep my shoulders nice and strong in this position, squeezing that kettlebell, and then I stand up nice and tall again. No, don't let the kettlebell bully you, all right? So that's the anatomy of the kettlebell, some of our movements, right? Now we talk about our presses. We do a lot of overhead presses, shoulder presses, and we're using the kettlebell a lot of the times. So I'm gonna go over two of the variations that we use a lot at Stronger, right? First one is a shoulder press from here, right? Where we're here and we press the kettlebell, right? It can be from a standing position. Keep in mind I'm in the basement, right? So what we wanna do, I'm gonna get a little closer to the camera for this. When we pick up our kettlebell, we want the handle to lay across our palm diagonally. That way, I can keep my wrist nice and straight and strong. So I have this nice stacked position, wrist over elbow, and my wrist is straight, okay? I don't want to be here or here with the kettlebell, because this is gonna start to hurt as I start to press. So I'm gonna get that right in the crook between our index and thumb, and it's gonna sit diagonal, nice and straight, close that fist, and then we go up and press, all right? So let me grab a lighter kettlebell. Again, right, as you pick up your kettlebell, place it right in the corner, diagonal in your hand, close the fist, straight up, okay? Second press we do a lot of with some of our complexes are a double hand press. Same position, right? Same thing as our goblet squat. Keep the kettlebell tight to your body, and we're gonna go straight up and straight down. When we're doing any press, whether with a kettlebell or dumbbell, what we wanna make sure of is that we don't get into extension. That as I'm pressing, I start to do this to get that kettlebell up. Nice tall standing plank, squeeze the core, and then we go straight up. Right here. So I'm never leaning back to get that weight up and getting some pain in my low back, all right? So we're gonna get into our kettlebell swing now. One of our favorite movements, we use the kettlebell swing quite a bit in our programming. A couple things. Hey Daria, long time no see. So when we do our kettlebell swings, we want to talk about our setup, our hip positioning, our shoulders, and our core, okay? So I like to say that you have to have a good mount and dismount for the kettlebell, okay? So I'm gonna set my kettlebell up about a foot in front of me. And then I'm gonna square up, okay? So I'm here. I like to chop myself in the waist, right, hinge, and I'm gonna grab my kettlebell. In the same way I did with the deadlift, I'm gonna try to break this handle, and what that does is that helps me set my shoulders back and down and engage these lat muscles, right? So we're here, tilt that kettlebell back towards you, and in this position, you should be nice and tight, right? Strong here, core's nice and tight, feet are engaged with the ground, and from here, I'm gonna hike way up into my hips, way up into the family jewels, right? And then we swing out. So high hike, swing, keep that kettlebell nice and tight, and then when we dismount, it comes right back to where you started, okay? So sometimes we see people start their swing, and not that any of you lovely people in here would do that, Daria or Karen or Emily, but sometimes we see people when they pick up their kettlebell and they kind of just start swinging. That's fine, right? But there's a more efficient way to do it. And especially when you're trying to stop. Imagine if I was using a really heavy kettlebell, a 40K or something like that, and then I go to stop and I have to try to slow this thing down to get it back to the ground. That can start to get really dicey, right? So what we want to do is, again, set nice and tight. I do all my reps. Last rep, I'm gonna come back tight and then sit down nice and easy, okay? That's why we really have to make sure that when you're doing your swings and explosive things, that you have a little bit of room between your partner, your team member, right, in the gym. Because you gotta have room to swing and also dismount, right? So again, we set for our kettlebell swing. I'm gonna take one step back, square up, chopping the hips, sit back, good grip on the kettlebell, shoulders are down, core is tight, high hike into your hips, and then popping those hips nice and strong every time. Last rep, we're gonna come back and then sit down. The whole time, chest stays tall, core stays tight, and I'm working those hips. We don't want this to be a squatty pattern. We don't want the kettlebell down here. We don't want to be swinging below our knees or sitting into the swing, right? We want our hips to do all of the work And then easy dismount, set down, and reset. Hey, Eileen. And then go do the next exercise that Joe has programmed for us, okay? So remember, give yourself some space. Always keep that nice tall chest position, core tight. Don't let that kettlebell bully you, right? And those are some of the tips and techniques that I like. Hi, I'm looking down here because I have my second screen set up right here to see all you lovely people. So any questions about kettlebells, about any of our workouts, anything like that, or just questions? I haven't seen some of you guys in a long time. So what's going on? How are we surviving the quarantine? How are we doing? We staying sane? We staying healthy? So the other thing I like to talk about with the kettlebell, an alternative to the kettlebell swing. If you're just having trouble with the swing, you need a little bit more technical breakdown, it's causing you a little bit of back pain, right? There are certain things that you can do that are a little bit of a modification. One, you can always regress. Barely survive it. I think we all are, right? Trying to maintain a routine, trying to stay active, and really valuing the time you have with your family right now is very important. But yes, barely survive it. All right, so you can always modify back to your kettlebell deadlift, right? Kettlebell deadlifts, big bang for your buck exercise. We're gonna do a ton of them at Stronger. So anytime the swing feels a little bit funky, just go right back to your foundational kettlebell deadlift where we hinge, good grip, stand up nice and tall, right? Well, if you want to do an explosive movement that's similar to the swing, you can do a chest supported swing. So for a chest supported swing, we're going to take our kettlebell and we're going to hold it in our palms like so, okay? Then we're going to grip the horns right in the side and we're going to pull that kettlebell right against our sternum. When we do that, we're going to make sure that we sit those shoulders back and down. So nice and tall and tight here, okay? That flat part of the kettlebell is gonna sit right against my sternum, okay? And then from there, I'm gonna sit back and do the same pattern as a swing and a kettlebell deadlift, right? So we start a little bit slow, right? Make sure you're feeling the movement, and then you can make it just as strong and powerful as a kettlebell swing, okay? So if you're not feeling the swing, you can regress to the deadlift or the chest supported swing. Try that out, getting that weight nice and close to your body, your center of gravity. Really is gonna protect your low back, but as with all of our patterns, I know I said it like 1,000 times already, tall chest, core tight, hip dominant movement. You see me do this all the time where I chop myself right in my hip bones to reinforce this movement pattern and then explode out of it, right? Again, chest supported swing, bottom of the kettlebell, grip on the horns, pull that kettlebell around your body, and then we hinge and pop up. Tito's, what's up? So, what's up, Linda? So, lots of options for you, right? All the time at Stronger, we're always trying to work our backside, right? Everyone needs a nice butt. Everyone needs a nice, strong back. So we're nice, tall human beings, walk around with good posture, and we stay away from that back pain, okay? So your kettlebell deadlifts, your kettlebell swings, your chest supported swings, all those things are very important to maintain that back health and keep your core nice and strong. When I say core, I mean everything that wraps around this midsection of our body. So glutes, core here, and our low back. I feel like all that encompasses our core, so you want to keep all of that strong, all right? What's up, Jay? What's up, Jay Ferg? So, any questions? Again, I'll stop talking for a second, see if you guys have any questions about kettlebells, about our swing, anything like that, any of the workouts, any modifications, that you may need for these workouts. I see you guys are very engaged and getting after it. I love it. So we're gonna be doing coaches corners, workouts. I'm doing a 5 o'clock hustle half-hour body weight workout today. So check that out. Come work out with me on the Facebook Live. Again, any questions, floor is open. Eileen says she's barely surviving. How's everyone else doing out there? Yeah, kettlebells are being sold out everywhere. Luckily, I beat the rush. So, a couple options on the height of your arms, okay? Ideally, you can go all the way to about here, unless Joe programs an American swing, and we rarely see those as stronger. So this is probably the highest point we want to go. But you can also go a little bit lower right here. The important thing is that you don't want your arms driving the movement, okay? Your hips drive. So if I'm swinging a fairly light kettlebell, Jim, right? And my hips are just getting it that high, then my arms can go that high. But you can see even at that height, my arms are still fairly loose. I'm not muscling the kettlebell with my arms to that height. What's up, Sheree? So you just want to make sure that, again, those glutes are powering that movement and the arms are just along for the ride, okay? Jen's question was, do you have to swing so high that your arms are directly out in front of you straight? You don't have to. It all depends on how strong your hips are popping to, manage the height of your swing, okay? Any questions, Cherie? Just joining us, talking about kettlebell swings, kettlebell deadlifts, positioning on the kettlebell, things like that. Good question, Jen. How's your knee feeling? Cherie, how are we doing with the workouts? I know we sent you some modifications for the push-ups and things. Let us know if you need any more. Not great. Just want to see you. I wish I could see you too. So Jen, I'm just gonna give you some pointers and some tips that maybe can help out with the knee pain. Just be good for everyone else as well. So when you're doing your squats, right, you're having a little bit of knee pain, right? There's a little bit more jumping in the workout right now. Yes, absolutely. Go a little bit slower, but make sure that your feet are engaged with the floor. So you're like almost grabbing the ground with your feet on the floor. And then we're trying to spread the floor, which we say earthquake. So you're grabbing the ground with the feet, and then we're pulling apart to keep our knees nice and strong. So when you do that, you should feel some good activation in your hips and outside your hips. And then as you come down into your squats or even your lunges, same thing, really grabbing that ground. That may help with the knee pain, but yes, going a little bit slower, maybe not jumping as much can help with the knee pain as well. But just being super active with your feet and really digging into the ground and pulling the ground apart will really help. Baby Noah is good. He's doing well. He's upstairs, hopefully asleep right now. I was hoping to have him on video for a second, but he's been a bit fussy. Hey Debbie, how are you? Long time no see. Missing all my Brook Streets peeps. Any other questions? Deadlifts, squats, modifications, anything to help out with the workouts? Has everyone been able to get kettlebells or certain things to work out with? I know a couple of you have said that kettlebells have been sold out. It's been hard to get equipment. I think everyone is kind of having difficulty with those things right now. Sold out. Yeah, it's it's tough. There's a lot of businesses that are going to be hurt during this shutdown, but strength equipment companies are doing very well right now. Again, I'm doing a body weight hustle, half-hour hustle later today at 5. It'll be a half hour. We'll do some stretching in the beginning, a little bit of core in the beginning. Then we're gonna do 20 minutes of conditioning. And then we're gonna do a little cool down at the end. So join me for that if you're around. So, couple benefits of holding the kettlebell by the horns. And again, it's not a must. You can hold the kettlebell however is comfortable for you. So Jen is asking, holding the kettlebell by the handle for squats instead of the ball, right? So I've seen Jen squat, she holds the kettlebell like this a lot of times, which is absolutely fine. As long as that kettlebell is a little bit off her chest and she has that good posture, we're definitely fine with that. But I like to hold it by the horns just because constantly working grip strength, and it's a little bit easier for me to keep that alignment. You can see my elbows pretty much, or my wrist is pretty much stacked on top of my elbow, and my elbows are tucked to my side. So I'm just a little bit stronger in this position with this wrist nice and straight than when I'm here and my wrist is a bit bent to hold on to this kettlebell. But you can, even in this position, you can still keep those wrists and elbows stacked underneath each other, right? Because that's just a stronger position to be stacked than if we're out here, or if we have it and we're holding a lot more of the weight on one side, then we start to lose some of our alignment, right? So if you are holding it like a ball, absolutely fine. Try to make sure both of your hands are doing an equal amount of work, that you don't have it off to the side, and that you're right here, and then bring those elbows in to try to stay as stacked as possible. Again, if you're here, you can just stay really nice and strong, right? A lot of stuff we do as stronger, you're in this goblet squat position or goblet position for like squats, lunges, carries, and we're just always kind of reaffirming this nice, strong position where we get a ton of core work and we can stay in pretty good alignment. All right? I would recommend maybe mixing it in, right? Because some people have a bit of wrist pain, right? If they're holding the kettlebell by the horns as the weight gets heavier. If that is an issue for you and your wrist is on hurry, just uncomfortable, right? I would say mix it in, right? So sometimes do a ball hold here, and sometimes do a hold by the horns. Like mix it in so you can bring up the strength of your wrist and the tolerance here, but also you still get those heavy squats to make sure you're working your legs as well, that you're not dropping so much weight just because your wrists are the limiting factor. So I would say mixing it out. You know, maybe your first couple sets go with the horns, and as the sets get heavier, then transition to the other grip. Okay? Great question. And you know they say grab life by the horns, right? So I just like to say that as well. Where's Jeff at? Where's Jeff Ferg at? The reason we always talk alignment a lot, or the reason I've been talking about alignment a lot, especially with keeping the wrist and elbow stacked, is because our name is Stronger, right? So we want you to get much stronger, right? And stronger means harder progressions, heavier weight, And the better your alignment is, right, with your wrist and forearm, with your back and spine, everything, the heavier weight you're going to be able to handle safely. So that's why I've been spending a lot of time during this talk talking about alignment. Okay? Okay. Yeah, well, starting to learn a little bit about that myself, Jen, with our house. Just moved in a couple months ago, and there's always something to do, right? So, tell Jeff, I said, what's up? Hope he's doing well. Hope the back is feeling okay. So we're just going to do a quick recap of what we talked about today. So we're talking kettlebell tips and technique, right? You see a ton of kettlebell work in the gym. So you want to make sure, again, that for all of our goblet positions, right, wrist stacked over elbow, elbows tight to our side, nice tall posture, chest proud, core tight. For any of our presses, we're going to hold that kettlebell diagonal across our palm, right? So our wrist stays nice and strong, again, stacked over our elbow. And then we go up into our presses. Same thing with the double hand press, nice and tight to your chest. Core stays tight. And we make sure that there's no leaning back as we press. We stay nice and tall in this like standing plank position. And then we go up into our presses. For any of our swings and things, we want to make sure that we have a nice grip on our kettlebell. Swing stays nice and high in our hips, right? And when we stop our set, we go high into our hips and then we set down, right? We don't try to stop that heavy weight by swinging, last rep, back into your hips, and then down in front of you. If doing single arm kettlebell squats. So, Jen's asking, single arm squats, single side. If one arm's having trouble with one arm, do we go lighter for both or heavier on one side? I would say try to stay in similar weight. You don't want to increase an imbalance, but you also want to make sure that you're still getting a training stimulus. So I would stay as close as I could to the stronger side in weight as possible. And what I would do is just add a couple more reps to my weaker side. So let's say if we're doing a single arm squat, rack squat here, and my left side's a lot weaker. So on this side, I could do a 20. On this side, I only could do a 16. So for this side, if we're doing sets of 8, I'm gonna do 10. Or see if I can do 10 on this side. Or I'm just gonna hold this rack position a little bit longer. So I do my 8 reps, right? The same side as I do on the other side. And then after I finish my 8 reps on my left side that's weaker, I'm gonna see how much longer I can hold this rack position to just bring it up. So the idea is that we get a little bit of extra work on our weaker side and have it kind of catch up. It's like extra homework per se, right? But what you don't wanna do is just kind of have this right side just get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger without doing some things to bring up this side. Even if we're doing some other exercises in the gym and you say, hey, my rack position really struggles on this side, like, hey, at the end of your workout, throw a couple rack carries, go back, go up and down just to start to work on that positioning. All right? So yeah, just try to stay closer in the amount of reps and weight as much as you can and give that weaker side or less strong side a little bit of extra work. Okay? We talked a lot about different ways to hold a kettlebell, the anatomy of a kettlebell, all those different things, our swings. But again, right, find the variations that are comfortable for you, find the grips that are comfortable for you, and a coach will always be there to help you and make sure you're being safe and that the exercise is effective for you. No, thank you for all the questions. I love this. I love to get the coach. So, yeah, like I said, I would just go a little bit lighter, see how much you can tolerate, and maybe add a couple extra reps, and then check with a coach, possibly for some extra strengthening exercises, maybe non-kettlebell work that you can do in the gym and both at home to kind of bring up the strength of that rotator cuff. Just some like prehab stuff that you can do, some simple exercises to make sure that you're taking care of that left side shoulder. All right? So my time is up. All right, I'm back at 5 for that body weight hustle. It will be a Facebook Live workout. So we're just gonna be right here. You're gonna get to see me sweat a little bit, right, boys? So you can see I'm sweating a little bit right now from just handling those kettlebells. So we'll have a little bit of fun today. Thanks for tuning in and keep being active. Just maintain your routine. Keep eating healthy. Again, I'm gonna say this in every video that I post. Be aware of the snacking. You find yourself sitting around the house and just being in the house all day, and those snacks off the counter from the cabinet start to add up. I know we're starting food logging again. It's chronometer day, so let's all be aware of what we're doing and what we're eating, and let's stay healthy so when we get out of this situation, we will be even stronger. All right? Let's keep getting better together.